So hello everyone, anyone can answer first, but what is your big idea for York? Do you have a big idea for York?
It was mentioned in the talk. Imelda said we want to do a project, and I don't think we necessarily do have to do a project. I think maybe the project is linking all the existing projects. That would be a really good start. Mapping, linking, and detailing what's already on the ground. Rather than trying to start something new, actually linking what's happening already would be a really good start. Past that, I haven't a clue.
I mean, mine links to that in a way that I'm really here to see how this can fit with inspiring young people to make a difference and get involved and actually become part of what happens in the city. And if they take a role in doing that, it might be that, you know, we give a challenge to some of the students at York College to say, go out and find out what's happening and create a green trail. The green trail might be something that could web enable and create something that becomes more of a tourism trail. It might have something that is something that they can develop as a business that might actually generate an income. But starting with is what is it needs to be done and how can we engage young people in something that's quite exciting, but actually if we present it in a way that we might get excited about it, it might not turn them onto it. So I think it's about the challenge and an opportunity to engage young people in what's happening in a way that gives them employability and enterprise skills and sets them up for the future. So that's my idea.
I want to set up a homeless hostel for young people and maybe other people in between, using buildings that are disused or houses that aren't in use and utilising those and possibly turning them into eco-homes and sort of wanting the people that would be residing in there to help out with that, so they get a chance to not just have a home but to be part of creating that home for themselves.
Sounds great.
I'd like to see these ideas that are just being presented cheap. As a local politician, part of my job, I think, is to actually represent what people want to see happen to their city and champion that cause and make sure that the rules and regulations can be adapted to actually take account of, rather than constraining people and preventing people from doing things. We need to liberate the inspiration and the creativity in the city and actually make use of its people needing somewhere to live, some people needing a job, people wanting inspiring new careers. We need to actually harness that as a city and say to people, yes, we can do that. Don't feel constrained. Yes, there are obstacles, but we can work with you to overcome them rather than saying, no, we can't do that, we can't do that, we can't do that.
So Andy's just volunteered to put all the red tape.
Very good.
Thank you.
Lovely.
The next question is, how do you want to get involved in these type of projects that you're mentioning?
Well, I'm a good networker. I like putting people in touch with each other. I like introducing Brendan to Andy, Andy, Brendan, and because I'm good at remembering names, and I've got a lot of friends in York, so I see myself as a networker and somebody that can put people in touch with each other. And I've just noticed somebody's over there wanting to talk to me, so I'm going to bob out of the conversation and go and talk to somebody and do some networking.
Thank you.
I think I want to be involved because, well, I've always been inspired by the edible, incredible concept. Somebody said recently that we need to, because of recession, we need to be actually looking at meanwhile uses, rather than saying this piece of land is just going to stay there like that, unused for the next however many years until the money comes. Why not turn it into a garden? Why not, plant it up? You can have big tubs or whatever that are fairly easily removed if someone comes along and says in 2 weeks' time we want to do something with this piece of land. But in the meantime, let's not make it somewhere that depresses people. Let's make it somewhere that inspires people and makes them feel that there is something that is going to happen here that's going to come fairly soon, rather than just being hostage to the virtue and saying we can't do anything because this is where we are, there's no money for anything. So I'd like to really be inspired by that. And so I've been involved with the transition towns project and transition started. How Edible York was set up was that we had an open space event for people to come together a bit like tonight and just fire up any ideas that they've got in the morning and discuss sort of concepts that they might be able to work forward and put into practice. Then in the afternoon, some more discussion around the key topics that people came up with. And one of those was about Edible York, having growing spaces that grow food, being able to bring together people who are growing food in their own gardens. Perhaps we don't need collecting fruit for a bit like the abundance type project where you go around and collect fruit that's growing, not being used, and taking it from years old people's homes, so it's not going to waste. All those sorts of things have been flowering over the last few years in York, and I see this as a next step on from that. Being able to, if you like, put York on the edible map. We've got Todmorden, people have heard about Todmorden. York could be the next place that tourists come here, not just to see our wonderful heritage and history, but also to see what people are doing to transform the city into a modern city that has food growing, there's all sorts of exciting things happening, culture, as well as the history.
That's really good.
I think for me, I kind of take a bigger role because I'm here from the RSA, from Yorkshire, and I like the idea that we're planting seeds in York, and seeds are already planted. So I live in Wakefield, so I'm aware of the incredible Wakefield now, what's working out. But I want to be able to give people in other parts of Yorkshire the confidence to do their thing because of what's happening in York. So taking the York model, if you like. Sometimes people might connect with Todmorden, but they might go, well, Todmorden's not like us, very rural or, very much that kind of place that people associate with people who do this kind of thing. We can look at different models, urban models, city models, models where there's tourism, things like that, where people are doing it. And what I want to see, I don't want to see any more of those kind of movements that we've got in Leeds at the moment, which is about feed Leeds, which is about open soup kitchens and things like that. Yes, I know it's a necessity, but I'd much rather give people the wherewithal to be doing that for themselves.
I think for me it's about addressing the social issues of York and saying, yeah, as much as York is a middle class city, everybody comes here. Yeah, it's historic roots, but at the same time it's got a social issue that needs addressing, and I want to be the one to say, yeah, I'm addressing this issue. I'm going to turn it around to make the city that is utilised all its empty homes. London could take, maybe the example of that and saying, okay, we've got too much overcrowding, what do we need to do? York can say, well, this is what we've done. We don't have any overcrowding at all. In fact, we've used all our empty homes and we've distributed our homeless people or people at risk of being evicted into homes that are friendly, affordable, and maybe the capital can take a look at that and think, yeah, we need to do the same.
That might lead nicely to the third question, which is how do you think the RSA can help?
I'll start from an RSA perspective because I'm a fellow and I would like to recruit more fellows, but I think the RSA needs to be more inclusive itself because I would like, for instance, Liz to become a fellow, and I would not expect Liz to consider parting with the amount of money it currently costs to be a member, so I don't think it's the most inclusive club that there is. So I would like to see different kinds of membership for people who want to be associated and use, the RSA, and also that the RSA is currently just around disseminating a report about youth enterprise. It's a great report here because most of what it says, it's very London-centric. They have ignored a lot of the examples that actually happen in Yorkshire where young people are being encouraged in the university and schools to be enterprising. So I think for me the RSA needs to kind of get out of London and come and see what's happening up here and then take those models and use them, support what's happening in Yorkshire, but take those models to, like, as Liz said, to other parts of the country, but with a view that, you can't just supplant them, you have to kind of make them fit in that way. So I think the I think it's all about, at global and local at the same time.
I think one of the things it can do is lend credibility to new projects that might be started and help them to attract the funding that they need to get, a pump priming process to actually get off the ground. And so share good practice as well. If something's worked well in one part of the country, then they can introduce that idea and see whether it can be adapted to suit the circumstances in Europe and Yorkshire.
What was the question?
The question is how the RSA can help you, or how do you think they can help you?
They've just got lots of brains, they've got lots of fantastic independent people like me. I'm a lapsed RSA member. I was invited to join a few years ago and I joined and then I couldn't afford the money and then I joined again and I've let it lapse again because it's quite expensive to keep renewing. But there's a lot of very interesting people involved and I think we can use their creativity and their ideas. So I'm very pleased that the RSA are doing something like this because I'm passionate about sustainability and to have the RSA come along and say we're passionate about sustainability at all as well, this is what we can do, then feels good. I should try and get that check off.
Just one other thing, not for this project or anything, but everyone has to address the issue of sustainability. I think everyone's talking about, as Pam said earlier on, people talking about the fiscal cliff and the economic crisis, but the environmental crisis hasn't gone away. And whether you call it global warming or climate change, it's happening, and it's happening for these young people who we're concerned about. That is their future, and we're deciding by decisions we make today about whether we address that or whether we try and pretend it's not happening. So I think the RSA can go on board with highlighting sustainable aspects of whatever projects this that would help as well.
For me, the RSA is about sharing ideas. It's almost like the standing on the shoulders of giants concept. I can have these ideas and think they're brilliant. How to get them off the ground, I need somebody who's been there, has possibly done something very similar, if not done the same thing, maybe somewhere else, and it can help me get my ideas off the ground without going through red tape, policies, and by the time I'm 30 I eventually get there, and that's in 5 years' time. And I think if I get there before I'm 30, I'm 25. 30 seems quite a long way off, and if I can get it started before that, then that's brilliant. I don't want to have to go through the red tape and the policies. I can network, speak to people, and just meet people who are wanting the same social changes. I think economic changes are being talked about all over the place, but everybody's still saying, oh yeah, well there's issues with housing, there's issues with benefits. Yes, there are, but what are you going to do about it? Which seems the handy question that nobody's answered yet.
Great.
Thank you very much.